Have you guys noticed that every paternity court case that we watch on TV that's dealing with primarily black females, the end result is the black female, when she finds out that the male is the father of her child, the first thing she shouts in joy, like she won the lottery, is, "I'm putting you on child support." Think about that for a moment. The first thing that comes out of her mouth is, "I'm putting you on child support." Child support is not really for the best interest of the child. Child support enriches that female, regardless of how small or how big of an amount that child support is. That female rejoices when she finds out that the child belongs to that male. Now, it's sad and unfortunate because there's females that can just put a guy's name down. Once she put that man's name down as the father, once she names that man as the father, although he may not be the one that fathered that child or that planted that seed in that woman, the minute she puts his name down or even signs his name on that birth certificate, he now becomes legally responsible for that child. And there's many men that had no idea that they had a child or a potential child until their paycheck was being garnished. Now, I watched a paternity court yesterday, and the child's father had passed away, and she came to court as a paternity court, and what she did was she listed all of the things she paid for over a course of maybe a couple of years. And she actually wanted the mother, the surviving mother, to pay the other half because she felt she was struggling with that child. Now, it's not the mother's responsibility to take care of that child. And there's a lot of females that the dude have no idea that he's got a child until the dude passes away. If that dude gets killed or whatever, he just dies, now you have females that come out of the woodwork with babies, trying to collect Social Security on that dude. The family know nothing about this female, never knew that she ever existed. So she comes out of nowhere with a baby, saying that he fathered my child. So they go on paternity court, and one of the first things that always come up is money. Either Social Security or child support, or this is what I spent for my baby. In other words, it's their child, but they want someone else to take care of their baby, although the father or potential father of that child died. Now, what I think should occur is just like they did with public assistance or welfare or WIC or whatever you call it, where Donald Trump came in and got a lot of people off of welfare. He forced a lot of people off of welfare because they were using welfare as a way of living. They were using welfare to enrich themselves. So Donald Trump came in and removed a lot of people off of welfare. You listen, you can be on there for a short period of time, but then you have to find a job. I think that's the same way it should be with child support. I think there should be a balance between child support and the relationship that that man have with the child. Because even on many of these paternity court cases, when you have people that grow up without their father, and then they start searching for their father, and then they start going through different men, it's like the cycle continues. Females go through men to find out who the child's father is, and then when that child gets older, that child now goes through the same cycle of going through men to find out who their father is. And you have black and white people that's coming on paternity court saying, I never knew my father. I grew up without my father. But yet, I'm sure that female got child support. And you have females that even double dip, have 2 and 3 guys paying child support, have them believing that that one child belongs to them. And these men know nothing about each other. But yet 3 men are paying child support for the same child. And then when she comes to court, she lies and says, he's my child's father. He's the only one that I've been with. And the court still takes her side. I think men should have the same right to walk away like these females do. These females have the right to abort that child if they feel, even post-abortions, late-term abortions, if they feel that they can't emotionally or psychologically handle that child. So now, for example, in New York State, they have the right to abort that child. They have a way out, to opt out of being a mother. Whereas men don't have that option. If men makes the choice to not be there, now his wages are garnished, he's thrown in jail, which makes no sense, because if he's thrown in jail, he can't make no money. And while he's in jail, arrears are starting to collect or form or increase. Or his license is suspended, which means he's got no transportation now to get back and forth to work. Makes no sense. So he has to suffer, and he's being punished with no way out. And not only that, he's referred to as a deadbeat and sorry, and always told to be a man and step up to the plate. Whereas like in this image, you see him now worrying, and she in the back smiling, because now she's being enriched. It's not for the best interest of the child, because the end result is that child still grows up without that father, still wanting and needing that other half of them. Whereas that female now, she's getting a check regardless of how big or how small it is. So like Trump did with welfare, it should be done with child support. Child support should be done away with. The government, the state, should not get involved in child support issues. And if they are involved in child support issues, that female cannot receive any monies, any child support, unless that man is given the same option to be in that child's life. It should be stressed more, if you're going to make this man pay money to this female, shouldn't he be made to be in this child's life? He should be made to be in his child's life, or license suspended, or thrown in jail, like they do with giving this female his money. And should also give him an option to opt out of being a dad, like she has the option of opting out being a mother. And in the end result, killing the unborn child that didn't ask to be here in the first place. So men should have an option to walk away, because the only person child support benefits is the mother. So I think child support, and everybody knows child support is a scam. Even females know that child support is a scam. And that's why they use it to their advantage, because they know they can get away with it. So just like they got a lot of people off of welfare and made them go to work, so men should be made to be there in the homes, or better yet, spend time with their family, because you got females that make threats. She may have another dude over her house, and now this dude is stepping up to this father that's coming by there, and he's like, regardless of the situation, he's put in a situation where he can't spend time with his children. And if that female start feeding that child's mind with poison about the father, she also should be held accountable for that. Because this female that would get in the child's ears and talk about how no good the father is and how the father don't love them and don't want to be with them. Do you know what that does to a child? Especially if that man has moved on, got another girlfriend, and then the child's mother is jealous because she still want to be in that man's life, and he's not interested in her. So now she uses that child as a pawn. She now tells that child, I don't want you to mention that other girl's name. Or tell him, I don't want my child around that girl. But if it was the other way around, she's got dudes coming in and out of her house, and will be quick to tell the dude, this is my house. You don't control nothing over here. But yet, when he spends time with his child, daughter or son, he's now told, I don't want my child around that girl, and get mad. So you have a lot of females out there that will use that child as a pawn to punish the man. And there's no law out there, and I fought men for this because men refuse to protect themselves. They refuse to protect themselves. You have females that's out there fighting for their rights, but men just sit back and take it. So when are men going to stand up and fight for their rights? See, a closed mouth don't get fed. So you expect the law to be in your favor, and you talk about how the law is not fair and how these females take advantage of child support laws, but yet you do nothing to try to change these laws. And it's men that's giving these females power to destroy you through the law. So I think child support, we all know child support is bogus. It's a scam. And I just think that child support should be done away with. I don't think men should be made to pay money to support a child, because now you have these females out there that's using child support to enrich herself. The child don't benefit from that. The child still grows up without the father. The child still grows up as a potential thug in the street. That female child still grows up to end up prostituting herself in the streets. You know, looking for that daddy type image. So, feedback, tell me what you think, and tell me what you think about that. Do you think that child support should be done away with? And if they're gonna make this man pay money, they should make that man be in that child's life. If he actually, and listen, another thing too is, no man should be made to support a child, even if he admits it's his child, even if his name is on that birth certificate. He should not be made to support that child until a paternity test is done first. That paternity court, or that paternity test, should be the end result of who supports that child. Because the way the law is set up now, is if he ignorantly signs a birth certificate because this female comes along and says, I'm pregnant by you, and he's thinking like, well, we were together, and to his knowledge, he's the only one in her life, and then later find out there was 2 or 3 other guys she was with. So now he's been in the child's life, his name is on the birth certificate, so now the law says, well, hey, you the dad. So then the real father gets away scot-free and don't have to be responsible to take care of his child, and that lying, deceitful female gets away with committing a fraud. So I don't think any man should be held responsible for a child, even if he ignorantly admits or says that the child is his. I don't think he should be held responsible for that child until a DNA test is done. That should be when that woman gives birth, it should be mandatory for that man to get a DNA test. If there's no father with that female when she's giving birth, then no man should be allowed to be held accountable for a child, because then she can have that baby and then look that man up and says, you the dad, and he'll end up in court. And if he happens to forget that court date, by default he becomes that child's father. That's wrong, and men should stand up and fight against that and make them. Anyway, feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe, and click on the PayPal link and financially support the channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.